You have 2 seconds, you know what it is about, and then the decision is made. So that is why I should expect within the following hours, really, a substantial amount of my followers to subscribe to that newsletter.
Today we are going to actually start a LinkedIn newsletter live that will help you do the same for your newsletter to make it easier on your end. And the outcome for today will be for you to actually start your newsletter. This is day 2 of the LinkedIn newsletters training. You decided on the title, you've decided on who it is that you're writing for, what the one goal is that you're going to track, where you're going to lead them to, and all that good stuff. And as long as you have that, you're ready to launch your newsletter, whether you know it or not. To create your newsletter, you will need the following. All you need is a title. You need a 1-sentence description, which is really simple. We'll walk you through that. And you just need some sort of picture of yourself. We have found that if you put a picture of a logo, less percentage of your followers will subscribe than if you use the same photo that you have for your headshot on LinkedIn. And the last thing you need is your first edition or article of your newsletter. And you may say, but I don't have that. It's okay. We've got you covered, and we'll show you how easy that is. Because your first article or edition within your newsletter isn't technically real. So all it is it serves as a trigger for all of your followers to get an invite to subscribe to your newsletter. If I only create my newsletter without publishing the first article, no one will get the invite to subscribe. But if I create the article, the first article, the invite for all my followers to subscribe will be sent, but it's technically not the first newsletter edition because nobody's going to receive that in their emails since they're not subscribers yet. Your second article, the one that you would do next week, is technically your first newsletter edition that will be sent to all of your subscribers' emails. And because this is so much better for you to see, witness, experience live, we're actually going to walk you through these steps live. And we're going to do this by Shankar launching a brand new LinkedIn newsletter right on the screen. So go ahead, Shankar. Take the wheel.
All right. You should all see my LinkedIn. And of course, we all are curious, how are we going to get to where we create the newsletter? And there are several ways, but the easiest way for me is the following. I would just click home, and then you see here this button that says write article. So I want you to click that. And then I manage a bunch of newsletters. You will most likely only see your face. That's okay, and your name. So you click next here. And I want you to look for, in the top right corner, it says manage. And by the way, you need to be on a laptop to do this. If you try to follow along on a smartphone, that is not going to be possible. So you click manage, and then if you already have a newsletter, you will have this little drop down, and it shows your existing newsletters. But then there's also a create a newsletter option. So you're going to select that. You can also access it right here. And then this pop-up shows, and it says create a newsletter. Now, it's important to understand you will only have to do this once. We're creating the umbrella, the theme, the topic under which all your future newsletters are housed under. And that is why it's important that you have thought about the newsletter title, which I know you did. So here, where it says newsletter title, you're going to enter your title. So in my case, I thought a little bit about that as well. And I'm going to start one that is called Crypto Investing for Beginners. And then here you can select how often you intend to publish your newsletter. Just pick something that is realistic for you, depending on what...
Wait a second. Pick weekly. If that gives you a heart attack, that's good. There's really no reason why you shouldn't be able to do this every single week. And the reason is because you need the data, you need the analytics that are going to be produced. And weekly is really just like the bare minimum that I would recommend personally. But you could do whatever you want.
And there you go. That's why Shanee is Shanee. She pushes all of us to very healthy levels. So weekly it is. And then here in the description, you want to keep that short. You actually only have space for 2 to 3 sentences, but I would say the shorter the better. So I will just enter a newsletter for crypto curious people who think it's too complicated to participate. As Shanee mentioned earlier, the next step is to upload an image, which essentially is almost the logo for your newsletter. We have seen that the best approach is to use an image of yourself. For most of you, it will be your first newsletter, and you can use the same picture you have as your profile picture. In my case, since I have several newsletters and I want to distinguish them, I prepared another headshot that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use this one. As long as people recognize who you are, that is fine. And we are ready to create that newsletter. So I'm going to click done. And it looks like it's created. Now I can confirm that by going back, click home, write new article, click next. That's how I know how to get to this manage part. And I also can see it here now. Now we are at that step where we have to create our first newsletter that is actually going to be published.
You'll know that you're under your newsletter if you look at the top left and you see how it starts with crypto investing. If you scroll all the way down, Shankar has a lot of accounts, but if you see individual article, and I'm only mentioning this because I've actually seen people make this mistake, they'll publish 4 or 5 articles, but it's not under their newsletter. So don't publish if it says individual article. You have to see the preview of the name of your newsletter on the top left, or you're not writing the article under your newsletter.
What you see first here is this banner almost that is going to represent top of your newsletter, and we want to create that. And we know that a lot of you are going to be like, well, how do I create it? I don't have it. We got you covered. There is a template we created for you that you can use. And I'm going to just do that here with you as well. We use Canva, which is, if you don't know Canva yet, I imagine a lot of you do, but it is definitely a tool that you should start getting interested in. But it's very easy. You just have to click the button, use template for new design. And again, this link will be made available to you. We have 2 options. I'm going to go with this one here on the left-hand side. But of course, I'll replace the image. So I click it, and then I will upload a new one, upload files, and then I will upload this same image and I drag it on top of the existing. Do you see how easy that was? And then here, I'll insert my newsletter title, Crypto Investing for Beginners. Make sure it is centered, but still large. You want to really make use of the space you have in this area here. That is very important.
Yeah, this actually is very important to note. There's a lot of people that do live events on LinkedIn and their LinkedIn newsletter thumbnails, and there's a million things. There's 25 dates, 25 logos. The print is so small, it's microscopic. There's 12 people on the thumbnail, and it's just too much. If your newsletter, let's say, is being recommended or shown, and I'm seeing it on my phone, I should be able to just simply see your face and see the title, even if I'm tired at 11 p.m. from my phone. If there's too much going on, then it could be distracting.
I would say this looks good. Just make sure, again, this is very large, and leave a little bit of breathing space. So what you don't want is the font touching the edges like that. This is really nice. And then we're going to export this to our drive. And we can do that by clicking the share button. And then you see here download, you select that, And then you have the option between exporting both pages or just one. Of course, I'm only interested in number 2. That's the one I customized. So I select that. Make sure the file type is PNG, which is an image file type. And I click done and download. And that's it. Now the image will be downloaded to where your downloads go in your computer by default. And that's where you will find it. So I'm coming back to my LinkedIn tab. And now I can use the upload from computer feature. Again, it's going to be in downloads. You probably don't see that, but I'm just navigating to my downloads folder and I'm uploading it. And there we go. There we have my banner that is very appropriate for a launch. Now, the big question, what do we put into this very first newsletter? We have 2 ways we can help you. For those of you who are paid ChatGPT users, we have a nice link that will take you through an interactive experience. And I'll actually demonstrate that here. And then you can basically just take that and use that for your newsletter launch. If you don't have a paid ChatGPT account, we'll make a template available. Let me open ChatGPT, and then I'm going to paste in the link to our GPT, which again, you'll have access to that too. So this is where you would start as well. You see Growth Academy has released this GPT called Launch Article Mentor. We have 3 buttons here: launch my newsletter, increase readability, and critique this. In this case, I want to launch my newsletter, so I just simply click this first button, and the GPT will tell me, great, to begin, I need to ask you a few questions to ensure we're creating a compelling and engaging article. What is the title of your newsletter? So that was Crypto Investing for Beginners. And then it seems to like it, clear and engaging. Who are you writing for? People who are curious about crypto gains, but think it's too complicated to participate or get started. That's great. And now it asks, what are 3 things you will share in your newsletter? You can be simple here. You don't need to write bestseller. So you can just say how to buy your first crypto, how to invest it, and how to spend it on daily expenses. Final question, a very important one. What is your one call to action? Remember, your one thing that really matters for you. In this case, for me, it is join my newsletter at, and then you enter the address. So in my case, that is crypto.lifestyle. And voila, it's giving us everything we need. The subject, introducing crypto investing for beginners, simplifying your crypto journey. And then, hey, first name, of course, I'm gonna leave that out because we cannot use variables, but the rest, I have big news. This is the start of my LinkedIn newsletter, Crypto Investing for Beginners. Important, why I'm creating this now. I've noticed many people are curious about potential gains in the crypto world, but feel overwhelmed by its complexity. My goal is to simplify the process and make crypto accessible to everyone. What I will share in the upcoming weeks, I think that is important as well. Just tell people what to expect, how to buy your first crypto, how to invest it, and how to spend it on daily expenses. I'm excited to share what I've learned from insert your experience for time by number of clients. Together will make crypto investing straightforward and practical. All right. And then it has a quote from Benjamin Franklin, investing in knowledge yields the best return, and the call to action. I'm going to just select all of that and then copy it and come back to my LinkedIn tab and paste it here. This is the subject, which is akin to the title. So anything that you put as the title for your newsletter will also be the subject of your email that will be sent out to the subscribers.
Except for this one, because there's no
Except for this one, because there's no subscribers there yet. Yep. And then I'll just remove the hey first name. You could have dear reader or dear follower, something like that.
Dear reader.
But I'm just going to get right into it. And I like all of that. The only thing that we need to adjust here, I'm excited to share what I've learned.
Just put your numbers.
Yeah.
So there you just want to put a little seasoning with some credibility.
I'm excited to share what I've learned from investing in decentralized finance for about 18 months now. I think that is good because you should never promise specific things in crypto.
Yeah, don't keep your signature.
I'm entering Shankar, just double checking. This is important. You don't want to have your link wrong. And that looks good to me. We made it. There's absolutely no excuse. As you can see, you have all the ingredients in front of you. You just need to act. Now you want to click next. And what happens is that you are about to post this article on your feed, and that will also make it your first newsletter. In the future, you will always post your next articles to the feed, and then LinkedIn will take care of sending it out. Okay, so this is just part of the process. And here you can just say something like, I am excited to launch my new newsletter about crypto investing. And then I would say, please subscribe and share with people who are curious. And that's really all you need to do.
Now click the button.
Now click publish. That is the last thing you need to do.
This is where me and clients will be on a call together and I'll be like, now click the button. And they'll look at me with like, now? And I'm like, yes, right now we can do this.
What happens now is that all of your existing connections, but also remember, very powerful, your followers will get a prompt here under my network. They will see an invitation on my behalf. I don't have one, but Shanee shared several yesterday.
I got yours.
Okay, see, that's perfect. So they will see it here very prominently.
Look, Shankar invited you to subscribe to Crypto Investing for Beginners. Cool.
Woohoo! And did you see how easy that was to make the decision whether this is for me or not? You have 2 seconds, you know what it is about, you know I either want to invest in crypto and I'm a beginner or not. And then the decision is made. So that is why I should expect within the following hours, really, a substantial amount of my followers to subscribe to that newsletter.
How do you see your subscribers, Shankar?
In order to look at that, we just go back to the newsletter overview. So there are several ways to get to the newsletters.
Just go to your homepage. It should be there.
If I scroll down here, I have my newsletters featured. So you can see I already have 21 subscribers.
How do you see who they are?
Yeah, I can. I just look at the details of the newsletter and then
25 already. Click
25. Now I can click that blue link here, and there we go. You see? And remember what I told you, some of them will not be connections, which is very, very powerful. Look at here, that is a 2nd-degree connection to me. So that means we are not connected on a 1st level. Even a 3rd-degree connection. Marco, I don't know these people. And that is very, very powerful because it is a very powerful way to broaden your reach, to get your expertise and what you have to share and teach to a larger network than just those that are already within your 1st degree.
And yes, all of those people signed up just now. What those people are telling Shankar, and this is why when people say my LinkedIn network is dead, really? Those people had to be on LinkedIn in the last minute. And those people probably hardly ever engage with Shankar's content. Just because you've tried LinkedIn in the past to post on your feed, and maybe you were disappointed because not many people engaged, it doesn't mean that they're not wanting to engage. It just may be that they want to keep their engagement private. But what this proves, all these people are literally so active on LinkedIn that they had to be active within the last 3 minutes or whatever it's been. They are also telling him, yes, I'm interested interested in learning about this thing. And a lot of them from the start, you could see that they're not his direct connections, which means that previously maybe he would have had no real reason to connect with them. Now, for the second and third degree connections, he could say, hey, he could send a connection request and say, hey, thanks for subscribing to my LinkedIn newsletter, blah, blah, blah. And he also has a list of who those people are. Those people are literally raising their hands saying, I am interested in this thing. The value of that list alone and the relationships, the conversations that you could start by just connecting with them from that point forward is priceless.
And remember what we told you. These newsletters that I will be writing will be delivered on behalf of myself by LinkedIn directly to their inbox. Doesn't go to spam, doesn't go to promotions. This is so powerful and you need to act today. I know you will.
Thanks, Shankar, for covering that. There's actually one more thing I want him to show you how to do. Click your profile, Shankar. So once you've launched your LinkedIn newsletter, there's one thing that you could do. You go down, go to your activity, and then click that pencil. See that pencil? He already has the newsletter there, but if you just launch your newsletter and you just have it like posts, turn it to posts so they could see, yours probably looks like posts. It just probably looks like that. But if you want to highlight either your videos or your newsletter or your live events, you click the pencil and then you could do newsletters. So now whoever comes to your profile will see your newsletter first, and that will also increase the number of people who subscribe. Especially when you're someone who becomes consistent, then they could click show all editions at the bottom right there under your newsletter. And then you could see, and this is a different newsletter of his, but you can see all of the editions that he's published. So when I click Shankar's newsletter, show all editions, I'm like, wow, he's really consistent. And then maybe I could go watch replays of his previous lives, click into his previous articles. And what it does is it shows he's a thought leader in this particular topic. He's consistent. He shows up for his community and it looks professional. He's sharing good information. So what you don't want to do is launch today, and then in a year from now, I click that and there's 2 newsletters, which is what a lot of people do. We want to become consistent. We want to share. Now, the big question becomes, what do I do next week? And that's what we're going to cover tomorrow. So tomorrow in the training, we will show you how you create a 90-day newsletter content plan, which is 90 days once a week. You're going to design a content plan for your next 4 to 12 weeks, depending on how much you want to do. And we'll go into the different types of newsletters. So there's newsletters that are informational articles where you're going to share a lot of information, answer multiple FAQs at the end that will stay on your profile for SEO purposes. Then there's newsletters that are more of email style that you may even delete after the fact, that may just direct people to different live events that you're doing on and off the platform. It's great to launch, but what you're giving yourself is you'll have 7 days, you'll have a buildup of your subscribers, maybe start messaging, saying, thank you, this, whatever, we'll give you some templates for that. But the main thing is that you're going to use this time to really at least prepare your next 4. Because the last thing you want to do is be writing a newsletter last second or just have it stress you out so much that you spend 8 hours on it, and it's ridiculous at that point. This was simple because it's just a trigger to release for the subscribers, but your first real one is your next one. And you want to build a personal brand where people are like, wow, this person really shares great stuff. And God bless you.